Welcome to Invictus Motors. We have this Porsche 911 997. Something unique about this car is that it's a Generation 2. There's not many Gen 2s, especially a base Carrera out there. And this has got a rather nice bit of spec. And I'll let you into what that nice bit of spec is. That is a Porsche sports exhaust system. If you're curious why the black alloys, they're factory spec. Some young man hasn't done it and trashed the car around. Factory spec, okay? This car is a PDK. It's got a gearbox, which is called a PDK. I'm not going to try to pronounce the German Doppelkupplung. It's just so difficult. I've tried, and even though I speak a bit of German. They were introduced in 2008 because Porsche wanted to move away from the Tiptronic gearboxes. And the Tiptronic was a Mercedes invention. You found Tiptronics in Audis, you found them in Mercedes, you found them in Porsches. They did an effective job in a Porsche, both from a performance standpoint and from a reliability standpoint, because I've not heard any bad stories about Tiptronic. I personally am a big fan of a Tiptronic, but the PDK takes a Porsche to a completely different level. Porsche hasn't given the license of the use of a PDK gearbox to any other manufacturer. Only Porsche can use a PDK. On the models that a PDK is used on is a Cayman, Boxster, a 911 and a Macan. No other models can use a PDK. And that's because it's a special gearbox. They don't want many other manufacturers or many other names using the PDK gearbox. Now, from a mechanical point of view, and let's just talk about a bit of the technicality point of view, we say, well, it's an automatic. Well, it's actually better than a manual and better than an automatic because the car's got two clutches. That means it anticipates your behavior. So if you are just cruising along, the car will select a higher gear for economy reasons and for comfort reasons. But if you're in the 6th or the 7th gear and you put your foot down, the car will drop down to a 2nd or a 3rd gear because it knows you're in performance mood and you're in a mood to push the car along. There are so many other things that make a PDK an absolutely astonishing gearbox. But we're not here to just talk about PDK, we're here to talk about a 911 997 Gen 2. Why is a Gen 2 a bit different to a Gen 1 997? That's because the front is a bit different. Because of these lights, a nice little subtle change here with the LED lights, especially them curving up here. And the subtle badging, obviously that's a choice. You could have anything you want there. You could have a 911 Carrera if you wanted to. And above all, this is your base Carrera. And I think a Porsche 911 should be nice and small. You can hug onto it, you can hold it. Not a big, massive car, a Carrera S or a 4S or a 991 or a 992. Porsche is all about nice, petite, nimble, flexible cars. Something small, something to enjoy. Let's get in and enjoy it now. We just saw the original 911. I'm talking about a Beetle. Hey, look, proper rundown. But what does DFI stand for? It stands for Direct Fuel Injected Engine. To simplify it, all a DFI is you don't have the fuel fed in through the air intake manifold. The fuel is directly fed into the combustion chamber, so direct fuel injected. And the air that is then fed into the air intake manifold is purified air. As opposed to the Gen 1s, you get the Bosch fuel injected engines. They're a bit different. I'm not going to bore you with, again, the differences of the two, because that will require a completely different video. But all you need to know is the DFI is a much more reliable engine. It doesn't have your IMS issues, your bore scoring issues. It doesn't have even the issue that you would get on a manual in relation to the over rev data. Overall, it's a pretty smooth and an effective, reliable, mechanically excellent gearbox, as well as the engine. That's what a DFI really is all about. This isn't an old sit-in toilet. This is an old ramp. So you basically drive the car all the way around. The car comes in here, parks up somewhere like this, and you change the oil. Some people have changed the tires here. This is what it is. We're going to talk about our 911 bike. Let's jump to our 911, Adam. Okay. It's got a very good service history. It's got 3 services that were done at you know, a number of Porsche centers or official Porsche centers. 2 services were done at Porsche Specialist. Last of them being done at Elite Porsche, which actually did a major service including spark plugs, drive belt replacement, front and rear pads, front and left and right lower control arms, new AC condensers at the front. All of this was done in February 2021. All paid by courtesy of the previous owner, which we were very thankful for, which meant we didn't have to spend a penny on. Thank God. Oh gosh, do we really have to do this? Talking about numbers and technical information. I just want to get in a car and drive it, have fun. That's what it's about. Or we're going to talk about numbers. I've got them on a piece of paper. I'm not the smartest of people here in the room. But it tends to happen that this has got better performance figures than a Gen 1 997. So we're going to talk about bhp. A Gen 1 997's got 321 bhp. This has got 340. A Gen 1's got 370 Newton meters of torque. This one's got 389. A Gen 1 does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. This does it in 4.9 seconds. Not much of a difference, but it is a bit of a difference. That just goes to show that the Tiptronics were actually rather good gearboxes. Top speed on this is 179 versus a Gen 1 was 177. Now, looking at all of this technical information, the performance and the figures on this is on par with a Gen 1 997 Carrera S, and that's pretty damn good. We're going to talk about economy. A Gen 1 does 21 mpg. Oh, that's combined mixed mpg. This does 27.5. Thank God to the DFI. Now this is almost as fuel efficient than all of its rivals. We're talking about Aston Martin V8, that's the Vantage, BMW M6, we're talking about the Maserati Gran Turismo, the Honda NS6, or your Audi R8, which all struggle to get more than 20 mpgs. They are very economical. And should you want to take it out on a trip to somewhere as nice as south of France or somewhere to skiing or wherever it may be, you can comfortably take this out without having to worry about your pocket running out of money. I have some criticism in relation to a Porsche 911 interior, and it's outdated for one simple reason, is because of the PCMs that they had. Up until 2011, you couldn't actually listen to your music on the standard PCM that Porsche provided. You had to use a USB or some sort of a connector, etc. But this owner did the sensible thing by upgrading and putting in an Alpine stereo system. The other bit of spec that this car has is the extended leather package, which is basically going from the end of the dash to the back of the car with leather back seats. It's got Alcantara roof lining. It's smooth leather steering wheel. It's got cruise control, climate control. Obviously, it's your PDK gearbox. The seats are spec to a comfort spec. It doesn't have PASM, which is Porsche Active Suspension Management System, which naturally means your car comes in 10mm lower, and if you press a button, your damper stiffens. It's a good bit of kit, but I don't like it because your car becomes very uncomfortable for the roads that we're driving it on, and especially if it's city driving, it becomes absolutely horrendous. So I'm actually quite happy it doesn't have PASM. Please like, comment and subscribe. There's a lot of effort that goes into producing a video such as this. Adam's behind the camera. It's not just a bit about getting out and making a video. Adam probably puts in a couple of hours to write the script. We actually then anticipate the perfect weather and clean the car to bring it out on a day like this to drive it and to show you why you should consider a Gen 2 911 997, and then to actually put out all of this information as accurately and honestly as possible so you can make the decision that makes you happy, not the decision that we want you to make or some reviewer that wants you to make, something that makes you really happy.